Hey guys, Elite Drago here today, uh, bringing you a Dark Magician deck profile. Just before I get into the video here, I just need you guys to like the video, comment down below, subscribe, and activate the notification bell. I do need subscribers if you guys want to continue to see more content from me. If not, then it's completely up to you. I'm not going to feel hurt either way. It would just really help me out if you guys did that for me. Of course, the like helps. The view also helps, and then so does the subscription. So without further ado, I'm going to hop right into the video. Alright, and this is just a build that I just run for fun. Of course, right now there is no tournament. I do run the 3 Magician's Soul, and basically what this guy does is you can send up to 2 cards from two small track cards from your hand or field to a graveyard, and basically draw that amount. And then I can also send 1 level 6 or higher spellcaster monster from my deck to the graveyard, then activate one of these effects, special summon this card, send this card to the graveyard, special summon 1 Dark Magician or a Dark Magician girl from your graveyard. So basically it's kind of like a miller, and then also a kind of like a searcher in a way. So next up, I got 3 Dark Magicians. Basically these are the artwork that I like. Newer artwork here. Yeah, I mean the older ones are pretty cool too, but this one kind of just really stands out to me, and it is my favorite version of Dark Magician. I also do run 1 Dark Magician girl, basically just for the fusions that we run in the deck, and basically anything else that would actually help search the Dark Magician or Dark Magician girl from the deck to the hand. I also do run 3 Apprentice Illusion Magician, and how you summon her is you literally just discard 1 card to special summon her from your hand. And then when she's special summon, normal or special summon, sorry about that, you can add 1 Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. It's a really easy way to just search Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. And then also during damage calculation, if a Dark Spellcaster battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard or face up to the graveyard. That monster you control gains 2,000 attack and defense during that damage calculation only. So it is not permanent, unfortunately. It would be kind of cool if it was, but it is not. Next up, your trap negation of the deck, because from what I'm hearing with the current format, it is kind of becoming a back row heavy format at the moment. Just from what I'm hearing from friends that I actually play Yu-Gi-Oh with, from at least what they're telling me. I haven't really been in the Yu-Gi-Oh game that much because of the pandemic, and yeah, so. Alright, next up, I run 3 Magician's Rod, and basically what this guy does is that when it's normal summoned, you add 1 spell or track card from your deck to your hand that specifies Dark Magician in its text. And if you're during your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell or track card or effect while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you contribute 1 spellcaster monster, add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of Magician's Rod once per turn. So it's a hard once per turn because it specifies his name. So Each of these effects during each turn can only be used once, and only once during that turn. I'm sorry if I butchered his name. I believe that's I thought it was Pendulum. Pendulum. I'm just gonna say Pendulum. If I'm wrong, sorry. Pendulum, Oracle, Mahad or Mahad. I believe that's Mahad. Basically, how you summon this guy out is if your opponent activates a card or effect that would target a spellcaster monster, or if it targets your spellcaster monster for an attack, you literally target that monster that is doing the targeting, and you literally special summon this guy out, and you bounce that target back to your opponent's hand. So it's really good for running up against other dark monsters, because when it battles a dark monster, it gains, I believe it gains, what you call it, half of the, or not half, I'm sorry, it attack actually doubles. Yeah, it doubles. Sorry about that. So yeah, whenever it battles a dark monster, he basically becomes 5k. So all I gotta say about any dark decks is, good luck getting over that. So it doesn't matter, because it's like whenever I attack or you attack it, it's like, you're probably gonna have to just really try to destroy it with a card effect or something. Alright, yet again, Pendulum, Oracle, Mana. Basically, what she's for is literally searching Dark Magician Girl, literally from your deck. Actually, you can actually special summon it from the deck or graveyard right to the field whenever it is just destroyed by card effect. And the last spellcast I run at the deck, Witchcrafter, Golem. Basically what this guy does, if your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a spellcaster monster, literally the same thing. You literally target, bounce it back to the hand. And I'm sorry, I actually misread this guy's effect. He does not have the same effect as the what you call it, the Witchcrafter. His effect is actually when he's revealed, when you draw him, you can special summon him. If you draw him during your draw phase, you can reveal, special summon him from your hand. And then of course the second effect is when he battles a dark monster, his attack is doubled. Sorry, just wanted to clarify that. And back to this guy. So he is the one who actually has the effect where if your opponent targets one of your spellcasters either for an attack or with a card effect of any kind, basically you target that card, special summon this guy out, and bounce the card that is doing the targeting back to the owner's hand. And he is kind of like a spirit monster. Basically, during my opponent's standby phase, he returns to the hand as well. Alright, moving on to my spells. First up, going to be Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Basically what this does is, as long as I control a spellcaster, my opponent cannot activate spell cards. And if I do not control a spellcaster, it's the same for me. I can't activate spell cards. So it's kind of a double-edged sword a little bit. But this deck is purely spellcaster, so a lot of times that won't really be an issue. I do run the basically the staple, the 3 Magician Circle. Not really much to explain here. He's basically your searcher for the Dark Magician, or basically any card that specifies Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl in its text. Sorry if I'm stuttering a little bit. It is like 2 o'clock in the morning right now, and I am a little tired at the moment. So I just wanted to get this video in just so that, you know, you guys aren't missing out, because it has been a couple of days since I posted my last video. By the time you guys are seeing this, it probably will be later in the day, probably at some point in the afternoon. I'll have this video completely edited and ready to go. So this here is my Soul Servant. Basically what this does, it just lets me place a card on top of my deck, either from my hand, deck, or grave. And then also it has to be that that is Dark Magician, or specifies Dark Magician in its text. And then also, when this card's in my graveyard, of course, except for the turn that it was sent, I can banish this card from my graveyard, and then also draw cards up to the number of Dark Magician, Dark Magician Girl, or the Pendulum Monsters, Paladin. I'm sorry, I still can't pronounce that name right. I probably won't be able to because I'm like exhausted. So, but yeah, any one of those monsters, if I have multiple copies of them in my graveyard, I literally draw the same number of cards. So it kind of just helps like deck thin a little bit. Next up, my Illusion Magician, and basically what this does is I contribute 1 spellcaster monster, and then add up to 2 copies of Dark Magician from my deck to my hand. It's literally all it does, and it is a hard once per turn. It says the name in the text. Alright, and I do also run 3 Dark Magic Veil. Basically pay 1,000, special summon 1 Dark Spellcaster type monster from my hand or my graveyard. So it's kind of like a Silver Cry for dragons, but a little bit better. It's not a quick play. So I mean, in my eyes, it's a little better because you can do from hand or grave, and Silver Cry can only do from grave. Alright, last spell card of the deck. I run 2 Super Polys, literally just for mirror matches. If I come up against another Dark Magician deck, I can literally just activate Super Poly and basically just use your Dark Magician and your Dark Magician Girl to summon out one of my fusions. I'll show it to you later on after I get through my traps. Alright, for the traps, I do run 2 Eternal Soul. Yet again, it's pretty much like one of those searches for the deck. Let you special summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard, and then I can either add 1 Dark Magic attack or 1,000 knives from my deck to my hand. I don't run either of those, so it is pretty much just to special summon the Dark Magician, and then of course, if this card's removed from the field, I basically just blow up my field. Yep, destroy all monsters I control. So, it's another double-edged sword card. And last trap of the deck, I only run 2. My Magician Navigation, and it lets me special summon 1 Dark Magician from my hand, and then I special summon 1 level 7 or lower spellcaster from my deck. If I control a Dark Magician, except the turn that this card was sent to the graveyard, I can banish this card from my graveyard, then target 1 face-up spell or trap my opponent controls, negate its effects until the end phase. So it's kind of like a kind of skill drain, but for spell and traps. Alright. And moving on to the extra deck. I do run 2 links. I do run my, I believe that's Daybreaker, the Shining Magical Warrior. And basically, what this guy does is basically if I supposed to summon, if I, I'm sorry, yet again, exhausted. If a spellcaster monster or monsters is special summoned to zones that this card points to, I can basically put a spell counter on it, remove 2 spell counters, and then I can target 1 card and feel destroyed. So it's kind of like the original Daybreaker guy, the level 4 guy, just in link form. Alright, moving on to my fusions. I do run 2 Quintet Magician. Only 2. 3 is a bit much. It's kind of hard to constantly get 5 spellcasters on the field with different names. Or yet again, if I'm mirror imagining, it's a little bit easier to do. And basically all he does is, if I do get the 5 spellcasters with different names, I can destroy all cards my opponent controls. And then he also cannot be destroyed by card effect. So he's kind of like on par with Boai's Ultimate Dragon. He is like the ultimate dragon of spellcasters. So, of course, now they got the Chaos Max, which is 4,000, but this would be like not the 5-headed for Dragon, except for he's only 45 instead of 5,000, which I kind of wish they made him 5,000, which would kind of be cool because it would really just be a complete evenly match between I know Yugi and Kaiba, but maybe they'll come out with something similar in the future. Who knows? Alright, next I run my Predator Plant Drago Stella. I believe that's how you say it. Basically, you only need 1 fusion and 1 dark monster. So I basically just use that if my opponent summons out a fusion monster, and I have Super Poly, and I have a dark monster in my field. I basically just do that to kind of just basically just troll my opponent. Like I say every video, I'm a troll. When I play Yu-Gi-Oh, I like to be a troll. it's just in my nature. So yeah, that's all he's really there for. Same thing with Starring Venom, same thing. That's all he's really there for. 2 dark monsters, yet again, if I'm mirror matching, just basically just there to trip up my opponent. Sorry, I'm moving a little bit quick. I'm actually starting to get really tired now, so I'm just going to finish this up, and then I'll square out this video here. So, my last fusion of the deck, I do run 3 the Dark Magicians, and like I said, that's the reason why I run the 1 Dark Magician Girl, because it requires you to have it. So I pretty much just run the 1 just for that reason. And it also does require an extra spellcaster, so you need the Dark Magician, Dark Magician Girl, and plus 1 spellcaster. Or I believe it just says Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, yeah, plus 1 spellcaster. So it could be either or. So I actually don't have to run the Dark Magician Girl, but I just do it anyway, just in case I get it out in the field. Alright, and I run 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal. Yep, Flare Metal Dragon. Basically, anytime my opponent activates something, they take 500 points of damage. It just basically just I basically just run this to try to help slow down my opponent's combos, so that they're a little bit more hesitant. Sorry, excuse me, hesitant on their plays. And last but not least, I do run Dark Armored Dragon of the. I'm sorry, I didn't see the name there. I can't see the name. So I do run a Dark Arm the Dragon. I'm just gonna call it Dark Arm the Dragon. Basically, it is for level 7, and if I have exactly 5 dark monsters in the graveyard, I can also attach one. Oh, I'm sorry, not also attach. You can also Xyz summon. Basically, him having 1 level 5 or higher dark dragon monster, which in this deck that doesn't really apply. So you're just using it just for the normal overlay effect, and then you can detach 1 and then target 1 and basically destroy it, just like regular Dark Arm Dragon. It's not really. It wasn't really any reason for me to explain that unless you're new to Yu-Gi-Oh. But yep, that is my deck profile. I am going to have to do a whole lot of editing in this one because I'm really tired. I also work and I try to keep up with my channel as well. But yeah, so with that said, like I always say at the end of every video, I'm going to go back to the real world and try to live life the best I can. And with that said, I'll see you guys on the next one.